Patalavat for welcome to our Samoan language and culture tutorial. And today we're looking at the etiquettes, you know, what you need to know. There is a Samoan saying that says, "Esele fa'alele, esele mai tau," meaning there are people who speak and express themselves, but then there are also those who observe. Observers are the ones who aren't very, um, they're not very verbal, and yet they're observing everything that everybody does, and they're very critical. If you're traveling to Samoa and you want to make an impression, or you just, you need to know and understand some of the things that are most likely to come up during your visit. And it will be good to know and to know exactly where you will be. So I'm introducing the term tulo. It's not a new term, but for our program's sake, saying tulo. And tulo is mostly interpreted by many as excuse me, but it's also there are other contexts that it's not really appropriate as excuse me. But anyway, here were some of the scenarios that we need to understand when it comes to using the term tulo. Let's say, for example, we're in the airplane and you're walking next down the aisle, and there's an elderly Samoan or another Samoan sitting at the aisle, and you say "tulo" that person while you're passing. In the Samoan culture, it's rude to walk very close to a person, although you may not say "tulo" or you may not know, but in the culture, it's like you're trampling over that person. That's the Samoan mentality. Although you're not, but you're too close, and they'll interpret that as walking on that person. So to say too low is exactly saying, I know that my action is inappropriate, and I am sorry, but we have no choice, right? So in other words, you're saying, I know it's inappropriate, but we're at a tight place, tight space, and I'm saying I'm sorry. All right. And that person will know, they know exactly what you're going through. And also, if your bag is above the person and that person is someone, you can, if you prolong bringing your bag down, it would be nice to say too low, lover. So in that way you drag the O. So you're saying too low, lover. Lover is sort of emphasizes that you're very sorry about for your action, although your action is totally right. But since it's a someone down there, they're looking at you, and you're prolonging that because it's taking a while for you to bring your back down. And also, it's very rude to carry something above the person who is sitting down. So those are the things that we need to take care of and be aware of. So that's too low, too low. Um, if you can avoid when it comes to being in Samoa, if you can avoid walking right by the person who is sitting down, please do that. That will be very appropriate in the Samoan culture. Like if you have a choice to cut through inside here where people are sitting or go around, then please go around. um, and if we're home, you're at home, and when your parents are home, it's okay. When you're very comfortable with your parents, you could just walk into the house from the front and say, "Hi, mom, hi, dad, how are you doing?" Or my old one, and that. But if your mom and dad have a visitor at the house, I would personally recommend coming around the back. So walk around the house and come inside through the back. In that way, you're telling the person that is sitting and your mom and dad's guest that you respect them. Although they may be uncle, still, it's very polite to go around the back. And when you're like coming out and someone is standing in your way, and that's when you use too low. So you're just saying, please make way. And if you're walking by and along like six people who are sitting down, instead of saying too low six times, you can also drag the too low. So too low would cover three people, and another too low lover. So that would cover six people. So instead of saying six too lows, you're saying only two, and you're walking like that. And very important. When people are sitting down, please try not to stand while they're all down. And if you're walking in front of them, if you have anything on your back, like a backpack or anything like that, please remove them. Um, do not carry things on your back while you're talking to people or you're walking in front of people, especially in places that aren't public places. Um, Also, if you have anything on your shoulders, lower them. So if you do have a swim in the ocean and you're on your way home, please don't carry anything on your shoulder like a towel or ear lava lava. No, please do not carry anything on your shoulders or above your head or on your head. The hat is fine. The umbrella is fine. But when it comes to carrying things on your body, please, let's avoid that. The other thing to look out for is at the dining table. There are families that do revere the head of the table. They revere it in so much that nobody sits at the head of the table at any time, at all. So but if you do sit there, they might be too polite to tell you to get out. But it'll be nice to know. It'll be nice to know. Just ask. And sometimes there's a special cup that belongs to the owner of the house or the elder in the house. Ask, is this cup a special cup? The first person might say no because they know you want to use it and they're accommodating. But it'd be nice to ask somebody else. Or if you think that this cup stands out, then it might not be a cup for everybody. And also, when someone asks you for a fork or a knife, it's etiquette like this. Let me see this. Okay, like I'm bringing this knife here. Kind of disappear in my all right. So you hold it right here and give the person who's asking for the knife the handle. Uh, give the handle. Don't give the handle. Don't give them the blade. It's the same thing with a fork or a spoon, right? Don't give them hold it like this, and then hand the handle, give the handle out. Sorry about that. It's disappearing, but I'm sure you get the picture. Um, when you get home, your family might invite the pastor to come pray and give thanks that you've come home. Because most of the Sundays, as a pastor myself, I pray for the daughters of Samoa and the sons of Samoa everywhere, especially the village or the congregation. So it'll be nice, when the children of the village do come home, usually the family would think, okay, it would be nice for the pastor, to come see and greet and meet one of the daughters and sons of the village that have come home. There's a few criticisms on that because financial reasons, but it doesn't have to be because it is indeed a gratitude and thanksgiving to God that you have made it home. And while you're away, the village is constantly praying for you. Or some people may not be, but the pastor is praying for you. And along the pastor, there'll be some family members who will also come for the alalafanga, and they'll bring some food. Note them, be nice to acknowledge their presence and give them some gifts. So it's usually financial. Let your family tell you what the minimum is. Um, Also, you can expect some hasinga. Hasinga is when your friends and people you've been nice to will come visit you and bring you food. And, they usually bring taro, string of fish, or whatever. And yeah, give them something. Like, thank you so much for coming, visiting me. And who am I? That is always the question that overrides and overcomes every criticism. Think of yourself. Who am I that these people would come to visit? These people would come share a meal with me. Sometimes being entitled is not very nice of a Samoan because there is a Samoan saying there are those who express and there are those who observe. E iaie whaalele, e iaie mai tau. So it would be nice to know that people who are observing you, and they'll talk about you when when you're not listening. But it would be nice. Your family would be very proud if they found out that the people are saying that you know the etiquette. You were very good. So that kind of thing you need to be aware of. Another thing that you need to be aware of if you're at a village, like a rural village, and they are having Fia nights, and then there's a Tawalunga. Usually in the village, especially when it's not a fundraiser thing, I know the line is blurred overseas, but when it comes to Tawalunga in the village, they don't allow anybody to dance. Anybody, any Tom, Dick, and Harry to come and throw money in and dance. When it comes to Tawalunga and they announce who to do the Tawalunga, whether it be the Sa'atamaitai of the village, the pastor's daughter, or whoever, that or the pastor, usually they would call out the matais that will do the ayuli and hold on to the reins of your heart. Although you might want to get up and dance, do not soli the tawalunga. Don't soli the tawalunga. Like walk over the tawalunga or appear inappropriately in the tawalunga. But if you're looking at a tawalunga somewhere else and it's a fundraiser and there's a lot of people going up and dancing, then maybe. But the cultural traditional Dawalunga. It's a very sacred thing. And the other thing you need to be aware of when the whaiwheau comes for that night, that the alalafanga, and for any other to'onai and or the high chief of the family or whoever the person of respect is in the house, do not finish eating before that person finishes. That is a Samoan etiquette, right? So if the whaiwheau or the pastor is at your house and is eating with you, please wait until he finishes. And as soon as he finishes, you finish. You don't keep eating while he's finished. That is one thing that is sort of corroding in our culture, that people are still eating although the minister's already finished or the person of respect has already done eating. If you go to the rural village, this is very clear. And it's not a culture that's pertaining to the rural village only. It's a Samoan culture. It's part of our traditions. So it'll be nice. Those are the things that we need to understand. And finally, when you're ready to leave and people will say, Manuel Malanga, God bless and have a blessed journey, then your reply is, Manuia le Famuli. Famuli are those who are staying behind. Manuel Malanga, reply Manuel Famuli. And with that note, I think I've said enough. And have a good one. And see you in the next video. God bless. Bye.